traditional healer, and we know that you never in a space accidentally.
Definitely.
So, do you feel that you were channeled to the children indirectly?
I think I was very much channeled to the children because you have to be humble as well in this journey, and working with people of different calibers, it humbles you and it just puts you in that space of okay, so now you have to be a mat for people, allow people to do this and that so that you can grow and so that they can grow as well. So I definitely think purpose and the healing came full circle,
and that's it.
Yeah. That's it.
So one other thing, people have a perception that if you're a traditional healer, you are like capped or just boxed into being Endumben, which is your practice room.
And the chemist.
The chemist, and
Yeah.
it's not the case, because like yourself, your calling, yes, you did your traditional healing training and all, but then now you were channeled into helping children. Can you just explain to others that your calling can also be different from other callings as well? And
definitely, I think people have attached this calling to just staying maybe in the rural areas, or somebody that didn't go to school, or things like that. But actually we are evolving. We are new age healers, and for me, I feel like I was put in a specific space to practice, to heal through youth development and so forth. Of course, we get times when we do our herbs and so forth, and reading of the bones and so forth. But I think I had to go through this journey so that I can finesse this thing with children. So yeah.
Awesome, man. And some of the children that you've also assisted with these programs, what has happened to those children, like in terms of them maybe prospering in whatever, and what, like the children that you followed?
Okay.
Yes.
So when I started, it was not only teenagers, so there was also women empowerment and all that. So I remember this lady telling me that she came to a workshop, and they were speaking about confidence and self-esteem, and most of these women come from backgrounds of physical, emotional abuse, or even economic challenges. So this lady came to the workshop, and then she was like, you know what, from here, I actually, on Monday morning, I woke up after a year of not working, and something in me on that day hit, and I went out, and she was actually I think she's a care worker or something. So she went there, she went to an old age home, she applied, and she got a job, and then she even got promoted, I think, within a period of 6 months, And then for the teenagers as well, they tell me about how schoolwork for them now becomes, a breeze, because now they're intentional about it. It's not even about going to school and just passing. Now they're making decisions based on what we discuss and what they see during these workshops. So, yeah.
Good stuff, no? And I also saw the name of your program, Arise Manatari, like
Tari.
So can you just maybe define for those that don't understand maybe vernacular, to say what does the name mean?
Okay.
Yes.
So Tari is Black Nation. So Black Nation being deriving from the fact that I wanted to empower Black children, especially Black children that suffer from social stratification, because now you've got little boundaries that are stopping you from being exposed to certain things. So I'm like, okay, so let's help the Black child who does not have somebody who's going to say, listen, instead of being a nurse, be a researcher or study social science, things like that. So it's empowering the Black child, so Black Nation. That's it. That's what Tari means.
Oh, lovely, man. Like, I just saw the name and I was in love with it. I'm like, yo, Arise.
Yeah.
And Tina Tarenzu,
Arise Tari. So that's the main slogan. You know what? It's time. Take your time. Like, take your place in the world, Black child.
And do you feel that your space, your organization, is really making a difference to those children out there? And if so, how are you guys making the difference?
I definitely think it's making a difference, because we are starting different conversations around social issues. I'll speak about the workshop that's coming up now on Saturday. So this is now a space where we are going to be speaking about mental health. We're going to be speaking about nutritional health. We're going to be speaking about spiritual health as well. So this is how now things come into a holistic, a holistic thing that we are going to say, listen, I've seen the scourge and the rise of teenage suicides. Let's speak to you guys. What's going on? Let us also guide you on how to actually, how do I put it? Let's help you find a balance, through this little challenge that you're going through.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I also believe in body, mind, and soul, because if it's synchronized, then it really gives you that existence, and it does give you a balance as well. If one aspect of those three does not balance, so I see you also covering mind, body, and soul. And how do you think it's important for those three to combine? Because for me, I feel that even in the healing space, if they don't synchronize, then there's like nothing you can do. So how do you also infuse those in terms of the programs that you do also to make sure that
it's taking in mind that the children come from different backgrounds. We want to create a space that's comfortable for them, and for them to actually start self-introspecting, because mostly with workshops, people just speak, and then they speak past the challenges that the children face. You just go there and you listen. There's nothing, you're not being exposed to anything new. You're not learning anything about yourself. So more than anything, it's about them self-introspecting. So, for example, I'll go back to the workshop and how I will just try and package it so that it answers your question. So with the mental health, we are trying to now, we're bringing in a psychologist who's going to be speaking about the different layers of how the mind works and the community that you keep around you. You have to be intentional about the people that you keep around you, because if you don't, your mind just, it loses it. And already there's so many chemical imbalances in the brain, especially with our diet as well. And the teenagers' diets are just,
horrific.
So then the psychologist will then be like, okay, create a peaceful, environment in your mind, feed your mind this and that, so that you're able to, have a standing. And then with the nutritionist, she also suffered from depression, actually, and then she started changing her diet, and from there she saw how productive she was, so she has a place and time where she speaks about health and so forth and practices it in her daily living. So she's like, listen, I'll speak to the kids and how they can heal themselves and the mind. And then the yogi, we are like, listen, you need to find your chakra and your zen, So we're going to teach the children how to find a space in themselves where they're comfortable, where they can have confidence and so forth. So
excellent, man. And one thing that I also wanted to also raise and also to pose a question to you, don't you believe that as healers, it is a born gift that we've been given to be psychologists, to be dietitians, to be herbalists? So in that space, I think, do you think also as a healer that if you did not have the psychologist or the dietitian, do you think you would also be able to manage the space?
I think I would, because before I invited people into the space, I had to go out and speak, So I'd have speaking engagements. I had one, I think, or two last year at one of the high schools. And you learn how to channel these different, because then it wouldn't be full circle if you can't do it, yourself. So.
All right. So let's just go for a track. It's called the Party Song. Then when we come back, then we'll unpack more of Bertha, guys. Let's enjoy the Party Song.